Roman Reigns and the Bloodline are set to make an appearance in tonight's episode of WWE SmackDown. The Og Bloodline is expected to engage in a segment with Sami Zayn, as Jey Uso invited the former Bloodline member for a family discussion. However, the 40-year-old star has yet to confirm his appearance, but he will likely show up to have the conversation. This segment could also lead to a potential twist, with the original tribal chief kicking the Yeet Master out of the faction. The main reason behind this unexpected move could stem from Jey Uso prioritizing Sami Zayn and siding with him during this family discussion on Friday nights. Jimmy Uso has already confirmed on Raw that neither he nor Roman want to see Sami and are unhappy with his actions at Crown Jewel. This shows that the OTC is frustrated and may not want to hear any justification from Zayn, especially regarding his actions against Roman at the Saudi Arabia event. However, if Jey emphasizes or pressures the head of the table to hear Sami's side, this could lead to the OTC kicking Jey Uso out of the faction. The rationale behind kicking the Yeet Master of Og Bloodline is that if he can't stand with the family, there's no need for a reunion. Since Sami's reintroduction into the Bloodline saga, Jey has had a soft spot for Zayn, as they formed a strong bond on the Red brand. However, this bond could certainly bring heat to the upcoming SmackDown, as Jey sides with Sami Zayn and justifies his actions at Crown Jewel. Fans will have to wait and see what WWE has in store on tonight's episode of SmackDown, and whether Sami Zayn will emerge for the family discussion. The Bloodline saga has continued to inflate over the past few months, and it is envisioned to grow even further in the coming time. With this, Roman Reigns could soon introduce a new member to his faction in the form of Lance Wwe. Recent reports have suggested that Lance has already signed with the Stamford-based promotion, but has yet to debut due to injury. This explains why, despite potentially being signed, he has not yet appeared on television. If the news is true and Lance recovers, he might be introduced as the newest member of Roman Reigns' faction. Roman Reigns already has a history with Lance, having once rescued him on Raw from an attack by Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon. With this history in mind, it seems more likely that if the 32-year-old star is introduced into the Bloodline saga, he will side with Roman Reigns rather than Solo Sikoa. For over 2 years, Roman Reigns and the Bloodline faction have been at the forefront of WWE, dominating storylines and capturing the attention of fans around the globe. What started as a simple alliance of family members quickly evolved into a powerhouse faction that seemed unstoppable, especially with Reigns leading as the tribal chief. Key members like the Usos, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman have been instrumental in making the Bloodline one of the most engaging story arcs in WWE history. But tensions within the Bloodline have been brewing for months, and recent developments suggest that things are coming to a head. Rumors are swirling that Reigns is on the verge of kicking Jey Uso out of the Bloodline due to one major reason, and it could all go down on an upcoming episode of SmackDown. Let's dive into the possible reasons for this shakeup and explore the twists that might be in store. Since the beginning, Roman Reigns has held his place as the head of the table and demanded respect and loyalty from his family members. While Jimmy and Jey Uso initially seemed to fall in line, cracks have been showing in recent months, especially with Jey Uso. Jey has shown signs of rebellion against Roman's authoritarian rule, questioning Reigns' decisions and asserting his independence more than ever. One of the major reasons why Reigns may consider kicking Jey out of the Bloodline is Jey's growing resistance to his authority. Over the past few months, Jey has refused to back down, even defying Roman's orders on live television. At times, he has even gone against the Bloodline's interests, making his own decisions and challenging Reigns' leadership. For Roman, loyalty is paramount, and Jey's behavior might be seen as an act of betrayal. Another factor that could lead to Jey's ouster from the Bloodline is his ongoing conflict with Solo Sikoa, the youngest member of the faction. Sikoa was introduced to the Bloodline as the loyal enforcer, carrying out Reigns' bidding without question. He quickly rose to prominence and has become Reigns' right-hand man, often stepping in to control Jey when he steps out of line. This has created a power struggle between Jey and Sikoa, with Jey feeling overshadowed by his younger cousin and Solo seeming poised to replace Jey as Roman's go-to guy. The tension between Jey and Solo has been building, with their interactions growing more intense each week. Jey's inability to work alongside Solo without conflict might be the last straw for Roman, who could decide to eliminate the source of the problem by kicking Jey out. As the tribal chief, Roman Reigns frequently puts his family members through loyalty tests to ensure their dedication to the Bloodline's mission. Jey has been tested several times before, and while he's always managed to scrape by, there's speculation that Reigns might have a new test lined up on SmackDown. This time, the stakes could be higher, and the test could involve choosing between the Bloodline and his own values. Jey's loyalty has been tested so many times that fans wonder if he'll eventually reach his breaking point. If Roman presents him with an impossible choice, perhaps to betray another family member or carry out a particularly brutal order, Jey might refuse. A public refusal would be a major humiliation for Reigns and would likely force his hand to kick Jey out of the faction. If Jey fails this test, it could lead to his immediate expulsion from the Bloodline and set the stage for a heated rivalry between the two. Sami Zayn's involvement with the Bloodline earlier in the year left a lasting impact on the faction, especially on Jey Uso. Jey was originally the most skeptical member regarding Zayn's inclusion, seeing him as an outsider who couldn't be trusted. However, Zayn ultimately won over the group, even managing to form a bond with Jey. When Reigns finally turned on Zayn, Jey's reaction was emotional, and fans could see that he was torn between loyalty to his family and his newfound respect for Sami. Jey's lingering sympathy for Sami could be a driving factor in Roman's decision to kick him out. Reigns might see Jey's connection with Sami as a betrayal, even if Jey never fully acted on it. The fact that Jey stood by and showed hesitation during the Bloodline's attack on Zayn was enough to raise Roman's suspicions. This wedge created by Sami's departure could be a simmering issue that finally boils over on SmackDown, leading Reigns to declare that Jey can no longer be trusted. While fans speculate that Roman might kick Jey out of the Bloodline, there's another intriguing possibility. Jey could choose to walk out on his own terms. Instead of Roman delivering the final blow, Jey could shock fans by deciding he's had enough of his cousin's manipulation and mind games. In a dramatic confrontation on SmackDown, Jey might declare his independence, telling Roman that he's done being a pawn in his power play. If Jey walks out, it would not only signal his rebellion against Roman, but could also set up a powerful story arc where he seeks revenge against his cousin. Walking away from the Bloodline would be a significant character shift for Jey, showing that he's willing to put his pride and self-worth above family loyalty. It would be a twist that fans might not see coming, and it could open up a whole new chapter in the Bloodline saga. If Jey is ousted or decides to leave the Bloodline, it would have massive implications for the faction's future. Losing Jey would create a rift in the family that may not be easily mended. Roman would be left with Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso, but the dynamic would be different. Jey has always been a core part of the Bloodline's foundation, and his departure would leave a void that could destabilize the entire faction. Furthermore, Jey's exit from the Bloodline would likely position him as one of Reigns' biggest threats. He knows Roman's weaknesses and understands his strategies better than almost anyone else. If he decides to pursue a solo career or even align himself with others against Roman, he could become a formidable opponent, challenging Roman's dominance in WWE. This potential rivalry would be compelling for fans, especially given their shared history and the complex family dynamics at play.